No, that makes total sense.
That was like you guys sick of us yelling at you for picking up after pick up, right?
Absolutely.
Really frustrating. We're doing
Oh, what just happened? You there?
So Theo was like that. Oh, like, you know.
Just clicked. You going in and out. Is that you or is it me? Both. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to. Oh. I did. I do like that. I did. That's awesome. We'll have to do something with the top after we get it all set up. At your weed store? So that's pretty fucking dope. Hmm. Yeah. Not a whole lot. I'll plug it. Yep. The only time we're ever coming back up here is to maybe switch slabs out to create something.
Yes. Just throw it out.
Probably should have. Although I almost did the same thing. Like I had plenty of like actual stone slabs to finish up the top, and I was like, nah, smooth slabs. We banged it out though. We're not doing too. We didn't do too bad together at all. Oh yeah. That makes sense. It's a different kind of burning. The flame, the heat of fire has to break through like your sweat and it has to break through your sweat, which is really hard, and it also has to break through your natural radiation barrier that you give off that keeps your body held together in one spot. It has to just get through all this crap to hit your actual skin, whereas oil, you know what happens when you put oil on water, it just spreads. So the second it hits your skin and sweat, nothing stops it. It doesn't give a fuck about any of that. It just goes right for you. Yeah, exactly. It just breaks through all your shit. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're talking about the glass on a dabber, I mean, that shit's red fucking hot. What do you mean? Of course it's gonna burn more than fire. That shit's hot. Practically lava. We have one more thing to do, however, I need a light. Although, I don't know, man, this seems pretty lit up. Still. Yeah, they're 4 out. I'm honestly thinking we might need walls on this. Well, we gotta put in the last of the trapdoors. She's a genius. When she grows up to inevitably stream, she'll have memes for days. Do you have trapdoors on you? All the smooth stone's done. I just fell into the hole of sadness. Oh, don't you disconnect me, bastard. Oh, rough. Server went down. No. The roof is sealed up. I'm placing the trapdoors. Which we need more of. More trapdoors. Oh my god, if I fall into this hole of sadness one more time, I'm gonna cry. You know, whatever, I need to break this so we campfires anyway. I hear an angry baby out there. Oh no! We got our first creeper spawn. It's working. It's working. Dude, I'm at spawn. Oh, the bottom. Yeah, the bottom of that our structure is probably gone, and I am now trying my hardest to run back from spawn. Why the hell did I go to spawn? Bullshit. The last bed I slept in was that trading post bed. Yeah, he probably moved it. It's all good. I mean, there's no... If you're still AFK, then that chunk isn't loaded, so I'll be alright. Getting up there is going to be a bitch. Oh no, this guy. Well, we know that this farm works, I guess. That's good news. That's good news. I'm so glad this is my first stream. I did. Yep, this is my first stream. Yep. Yeah, no, that's cool. It's content. Although, I should probably, like... Ridiculous. Dude, it's happening. There's no soon as. It's done. There's a few more trapdoors we gotta put up top, actually. But for the most part, man, this thing's done. You know, it's even funnier. What's actually good is when I got killed by that creeper, obviously I was standing on all 4 hoppers, so just all my stuff was just picked right up on the hoppers. Yep. So I didn't even have to rush over here. I was good. Nope, everything's all set. Everything's good. Just blew up a couple of these stone walls. Yeah, I mean, it got rid of the walls, like the first 4 blocks, like it was gone. But the stone protected everything else. No, right now I'm trying to rebuild what blew up. Which isn't hard, I just ran out of stone. The collection system's back up. It's just building the walls back up now. Thank you. Just I'm probably gonna stay right in the call, so just come back in. Peace.
everyone, we're looking at the Harley Quinn animated TV series. If you could leave this video a like, that'd be great. This is an excerpt from our podcast,
The Weekly Planet.
We work in tandem. It's a podcast with two people. That's how podcasts should be.
One of us starts the sentence, and one of us finishes the sentence. But it's always me.
It's always the same guy.
Same guy every time.
That's how we do it.
We finish each other's sandwiches. I've done it again. I'm finishing your sandwich.
That's my sandwich.
No. It's not how this works.
It's always fun to stumble upon a show where you're like, this is pretty good. I mean, people talked about it being pretty good, and then you're watching and you're like, hey, it was pretty good.
That is fun. It's even more fun, you know, people just saying, watch the show. You must watch the show.
Yes, that's
right. It's good. Everyone is telling you it's good.
Exactly.
You're less being stumbled upon the show and more being shoved face first into the show.
Right into it, yeah.
And initially you're like, but I don't... This makes me hate the idea of it, the very idea of it.
Well, before this, we were just talking about Hamilton. I'm like, you're going to watch Hamilton, and you're like, I'm sick of it already. I'm sick of hearing about it. You've had a goddamn... It's up to here, even though it's good.
All right, if you say
I've seen it live, Mason.
Well, then me seeing it on the idiot box, mate, isn't gonna. Its experience is not gonna be the same, is it?
You're making a mockery, but I still loved it. Anyway, we're not talking about that because we're going to talk about the Harley Quinn animated TV series. It's just wrapped up its second season, and both of us just literally jumped on board to it.
The whole thing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, it's a great show.
I heard it was good. I'd seen clips. I wasn't really sure how I was going to get it. At some point, I ended up doing a VPN and a bunch of other stuff to get it. And shotgunning it, for me, it was a really nice way to get through it. It didn't feel like it dragged. It's like 22-minute episodes. There's 26 in total. Is that right? Something like that. Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those things where if you love the Batman animated series from the 90s,
yes,
I feel like it's one of those. It's a great throwback to that as well as being its own thing.
It feels like when Hanna-Barbera decided to do an evolution of all their old shows like Space Ghost.
Yes, Harvey Bird. That's the
Birdman and all that sort of stuff. And they've brought it into the modern day, and they've decided to sort of revel in all the tropes and make fun of them. But also, it's kind of a nice homage. But also, it's based on a series that was good initially, as opposed to the Hanna-Barbera stuff, which sucked initially.
Yeah.
And the only way to go is up. So in a way,
it has its fans.
Yeah, no fans of ours.
Whoa!
I don't know if that's true.
That's exactly the comparison I've written here. It does have that Harvey Birdman kind of vibes for the 7 people.
I know, I'm mirroring your screen, so I know. Exactly.
Oh, that's how you know, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you could easily go like, oh, this is DC but Rick and Morty. Oh, this is if Deadpool was Harley Quinn or whatever.
And unlike that Deadpool cartoon, it's actually coming out.
But it doesn't, to me, Harvey Birdman is like the most kind of apt comparison to me. And I also think that the voice cast, because I recognize kind of voices in and out like through it.
And there's definitely, there are changes, and I imagine a lot of the pushback against this series, if there was any when it started, is that we don't have the original Harley Quinn.
No.
We don't have the original Batman or Joker.
No. Though Diedrich Bader has voiced him before.
That's true, yeah.
Joke's on you, Joker. Jesus, this guy.
You'll never take us alive, Bat.
So Kaylee Cuoco was Harley Quinn. I like that she hasn't just gone, I'll just do the 90s voice, which I feel like a lot of the time Margot Robbie feels like it's an impersonation of that. You know, it's its own thing. I feel like there's kind of more subtlety to the character that she's put
And the
in.
accent doesn't necessarily have to be a part of the character.
No, absolutely not.
Although I think it did throw me initially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just being different. Yeah, fair enough.
I don't like it. Anything different.
I also like that she wouldn't really have to do the show because she'd be a multi-billionaire. They were getting $400 million a minute to do Big Bang towards the end of that series, you know. So I like it when they can come on board and do this because it means like it's something that they want to do and want to be involved in.
Exactly. You sort of know that it's it's often a mark of quality. Like when you think about Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Bryan Cranston had done many years of Malcolm in the Middle and
some Seinfeld.
Exactly, barring,
He was some of the monsters on Power Rangers.
That's true. Was he something to do with Zordon?
He was
Zordon in the movie.
Yeah, he was the Zordon in the movie, but he was in the original show as well.
Some of the voices.
Yeah.
That's why he came back. Yeah.
Now you will feel the full power of the Zapper Apple.
So barring like multiple divorces or a drug problem, he would never have to go back to TV unless he wanted to, and I guess that's the same case here. Yeah,
exactly.
But the voice cast is incredible. We've got 2 Seinfeld alums, speaking of Seinfeld.
Yes, we do, yeah.
Jason Alexander is in it as Harley's landlord.
Yep. Cy Borgman.
Yes, which I didn't get until I finished watching the show.
Wow.
He's an old man who's also a cyborg.
I only got it just now. No, I got it immediately because it was really obvious. Mason.
Wow.
Lake Bell, Poison Ivy. Alan Tudyk I really like as the Joker.
Well, it's big shoes to fill, isn't it?
It absolutely is, but it's also, it's not a Mark Hamill impression, but I can't, but it just fits perfectly in this world, you know. And he does a few voices in it as well.
Let me try to maniacally laugh.
I really like Diedrich Bader's Batman, and what I like about Batman in this is even though it's silly and they kind of poke fun at him and all that, he's still Batman. Like he's 100% Batman. You know, he's not incompetent. Like he's not a fool. Like they make fun of him, you know, but he's not a complete dumbass. Do you know what I mean? And the same with the Justice League. Like Superman is Superman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman. Yeah. One Punches is King Shark. Yeah, who I think's really great. Also, a lot I like about King Shark and Clayface. They're two of the characters that they've actually changed quite a lot. But I think it works. They make Clayface this thespian.
Tis I, the violent type of shark.
Changes have been made to what they seem to have done is sort of drawn various influences from various versions of a bunch of characters. Like there's elements of this. Speaking of Superman, there's references to the Phantom Zone that are clearly kind of Christopher Reeve movie references, and there's some solid references from like the 1960s Batman TV series and all that sort of stuff. And so Clayface is sort of the original Clayface. Well, it's never said explicitly who was just an actor, a failed actor who turned to murder. Yeah. But now he has all the Clayface powers. But this one is like super flamboyant and just.
He's always trying out a new character. And...
Yes, exactly. Yeah. When he transforms into another person, it's not just for. He goes method with it.
Yeah.
When he becomes like a sorority girl, he gets obsessed with texting and boys.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Yeah. And then you get like Aquaman, who's kind of like Thor-ish. Which is what he often is in the comics as well, is this like high and mighty kind of... Yeah.
But he's not... Again, this show does skip the talking to fish jokes for the most part. There's a few in there.
Because what do you say,
well, exactly,
really,
but it's also like they also portray him as a competent Aquaman. Yeah. He's not Jason Momoa, but he is also, he can walk into a meeting of the Legion of Doom and just hand their asses to him. Yeah. Because he's, super powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I also enjoy, I think, probably... one of my favourite characters. There's not. I'm looking at these and I'm like, I like all of these. There's no one here that I don't like, but the utterly broken Jim Gordon and having Christopher Maloney voice him is perfect. I don't even think I realised
because he's utterly broken from so many seasons on Law and Order SVU.
But if you look at like Happy, a show that he was on where he plays like a burnt out detective or failed detective, whatever it is. Yeah, it's just that vibe is perfect for like Jim Gordon who's just desperate to be loved and just an alcoholic and his marriage is failing and he wants to be a hero but everyone hates him, and it's just it's really great.
And on the villain side you have James Adomian as
Bane! You know it's Bane! I'm here every day, Todd.
Yes.
Who is sort of
he's incredible.
Speaking of, they've taken elements from everything.
Yeah.
He's got the look of the Batman and Robin Bane.
Yes.
And he's got the Tom Hardy voice.
Yes.
And
the Pit. I guess.
Yeah,
the Pit is more Dark Knight Rises than anything.
But there's but he's sort of they've given him a personality to match the voice.
I will blow you up, you chicken satay.
Yes.
Which is his kind of.
People don't take him seriously.
People don't take him seriously. He wants to be a big league villain.
Yeah.
But most people just see him as a sidekick who's been like he started out as a big name, but he's sort of been beaten down by Batman so many times that he's just a sidekick. He drives a Volvo. Yeah. Like he's just sent out for people's coffee orders and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And putting Jim Rash in as the Riddler's a great idea. And how his story progression is mostly that he gets more jacked as the series progresses for some reason. I think is a really fun idea. And Lex Luthor as well, speaking of Breaking Bad, Giancarlo Esposito is great.
Oh yeah.
It's like that cool, calm, calculated Lex Luthor.
And that Lex Luthor is basically the exact same Lex Luthor as the Superman, the animated Superman Adventures, the Justice League.
Absolutely, yeah.
They've just gone, well, mate, that was a good one. Just put him in there.
Just essentially do that again, yeah. For those who haven't seen it, we'll do minor spoilers. We're not going to spoil everything because I'm sure there's a lot of people that haven't seen this, but it really captures all the core elements of every character really well. It starts off of kind of this low-key Gotham kind of story, and then it slowly expands as it goes, and you get weirder and bigger characters, and it goes interdimensional, and all these kinds of things start happening as it progresses. So it just ramps up gets more and more insane, which
Not
you
bad.
kind of get hints at in the Batman animated series, but it didn't kind of branch out until
Just
it was the
AFK?
Superman series and the Justice League, and they started
Yeah, right,
kind of
uh-huh.
merging the worlds
Curry.
together more.
Yeah, it's like a Super Friends episode if they were just allowed to do anything.
Yes.
Let's
Like if they were allowed to
see.
just, you know, just drop as many F-bombs as you want. Just put in as much blood as you want.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah,
It's funny though,
I don't
'cause
know what time.
it doesn't feel
20
like it's trying to
minutes
be
I've been
crass,
in,
like
and I
it's
got
so in your
15
face.
in
well,
one.
not it is.
Yes.
Like,
None in
you
the
don't
other.
show your kids this.
No, definitely not.
I mean,
no.
you specifically, James.
Did you get that? I'll just pause my video. That's something, yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's supposed to be more, like faster than this. I feel like it's a little slow. Like there's one platform up there, but should be all right. Are you online? Okay, because that's a whole. Because I flew up to 200 and then back down to the AFK booth, so literally nothing under me should be spawned. Is there a lot of people on? Yeah, there'll be 10 people on. Okay, so we might have to add the trident in, honestly, because I just heard one guy and... Okay, there it is. Alright, I was going to say, I don't see any gunpowder coming in. Alright, we're at 15 and 11 now. So we're at 30 in about 20 minutes. So that's not a full chest in an hour, but maybe a stack and a half. Stack and a half in an hour AFK. Do you like comic books and stuff like that? Yeah, you don't like keep up with like all the crazy ass movies that come out? No. The Harley Quinn show. Like, do you know who Harley Quinn is? Like, what's your knowledge here? Okay, well, there's a show on DC Universe called Harley Quinn, and it's the Harley Quinn show, and it's easily the best. It's the best animated DC television show out right now, depending on how you rate these shows ever. And I would say it's one of the best shows out right now, like to watch on a weekly basis. It's fucking good, dude. Good. Like, do you like shows like, I guess Archer? Do you like Archer? I don't really watch Archer, but I guess it's a comparison. Another good comparison is like, do you remember when all the Hanna-Barbera cartoons like Space Ghost were bought by Adult Swim? And they got like really adult and like really raunchy and like really crazy and hilarious all of a sudden. That's the Harley Quinn show. Like, it's a bunch of comic book characters. It's like your daughters, granted, if they read comic books, would know who half these people are. They probably do know who half these people are in the show. Like, it's Batman, Robin, like, all these people. But it is the most adult cartoon I've seen in a long time. It's pretty fucking ridiculous. It's so funny, dude. It's so funny. Like, they go, Harley Quinn and her team go to try to kill Mr. Freeze. And Mr. Freeze lives in a giant igloo, right? Makes sense. He's Mr. Freeze. So they have to get in, and in order to get in, they have to use a heat gun to blast the giant hole. And then she's like, hold on, everybody, wait a second. She stops the entire mission, and she starts firing at the hole. And then she stops, and it backs up, and she carves a giant vagina. And she's like, what? Men are obsessed with their dicks. I might as well start leaving vaginas everywhere. And she just, like, throws the gun and walks through it. And everybody has to crawl into the vagina to get into the base. Just shit like, it's like, and you don't expect it. It's so funny because you're just watching this and all of a sudden it happens and you're like, oh my god, what? Dude, highly recommend it. It's so fucking funny. So funny. And Alan Tudyk is the Joker, and he's Clayface, so he's like gets the chance to be Alan Tudyk, who's one of the best fucking actors ever. He's in a bunch of stuff, like he's doing all comic book stuff right now. So hold on, let me get an old movie. He was in Rogue One. He was in Rogue One. Was he in Rogue One? Oh yeah, he was the robot in Rogue One. Did you see that Star Wars movie? I think you told me no last time I asked. You there? What are you doing? Where are you going? Are you gonna make all the spawns happen?
There you are.
Do not show your
No,
children this.
there's
Do
a-
not show your 4-year-old and your newborn baby.
There is a lot of blood and violence and swearing, but yeah, you'd almost, by the look of it,
Yeah.
and also a lot of the show, it plays also like a really good kids show as well.
And you learn quite quickly that no one is safe in this universe because it's a different continuity to everything else.
And it's sort of
Your faves may not survive.
It almost could be a sequel to the animated series. Almost. It doesn't. Like, it doesn't line up. But yeah.
It kind of does. I mean, they mentioned there.
You like how I made like the ender chest and all the other stuff just part of the wall?
There are references to things that happened 30 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah.
that works out.
Yeah.
When
No,
did the
there
animated
are.
series start?
I had an exact example of why it doesn't work.
Oh,
I
well.
can't remember why.
Well, let's keep your negativity out of this, shall we?
Yeah, but no, it definitely is its own thing. But it's interesting you said about what it does to a bunch of characters because it kills people that you wouldn't expect. For example, like there's some major villains. Or spoil one because the clip has been revealed. The Joker just fries Scarecrow, just melts him dead.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And there's a few others that get like seriously maimed or injured or killed.
Cockney Scarecrow, also.
This is the big leagues of evil.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And there's also what I also really loved about it when it would introduce characters like Queen of Fables and Dr. Trap.
Yes.
I haven't heard of these characters. I wasn't reading comics when these characters were kind of came through and they disappeared.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
So every time a character would appear that I didn't know, which didn't happen that often, Mason, because I'm a massive
You're a
real fan.
big true fan of comic
But
books.
I'm
This
like-
is the show for you.
Yeah, but I'm
right.
like, Queen of Fables, Google it, yeah, it's a character that existed. They bring back, same with, like, Dr. Trap, is this like a knockoff Riddler they invented for the show? No.
No, he's
like-
real,
He's
yeah,
a real,
right, exactly,
he's a guy with
yeah.
a real metal jaw. I think that's great that the lore that they dig into from history, I think, is really, really interesting. And then you'll just get a character like Kite Man, who has always been a joke, is suddenly a major player in this series for some reason.
Yeah, right, uh-huh.
Yeah, which I think is really great.
Real. Nice.
Also, I love
Well, because Harley had to put together a, she, you know, it's a story as old as time. By that I mean, since the animated series, that Harley is the thrust of this series is Harley's broken up the Joker for good this time.
Yeah.
And she don't get no respect.
No.
She's Rodney Dangerfielding it out there, and she's got to get together a new crew to become a real supervillain and not as people think of her as a sidekick. So
Yeah.
it's Poison Ivy and Clayface as mentioned, King Shark,
Beautiful.
Dr. Psycho.
Dr. Psycho, yeah. Who's the voice of that guy?
That's Sonny Hale.
Okay, right, yeah. And just even the idea that you can see, like, the Mascara, you can see Apocalypse and this version of Darkseid and what's he like, and it's like, oh, it's still Darkseid, you know, he's still a lunatic.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think my favourite episode, I think if you're looking for one to jump off or on to.
The first episode?
Yeah, sure, the first episode is good, but where it really kind of kicked into gear for me
Yes.
was the one where Harley was looking to get a new nemesis and Robin shows up. And it's not Dick Grayson Robin, who's not in this series, I believe,
No, he's
at
not.
all.
No.
It's Damian Wayne, keeps coming in and trying to be the foil for Harley Quinn, and I think that's such a fun idea that he's like, you're my nemesis, and she's like, I don't want to fight a little kid, I don't want to be your nemesis. Yeah, and it's Jacob Tremblay as well is Robin, which is a really good. He's in Good Boys. He's in.
I know the show, but I haven't seen it.
No, it's a movie, so you don't know it.
Well, I don't know it then. I've heard those two words together then. Will that make you happy?
You've seen him in things.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. The other part of this movie, the other part of this series...
Oh, the other movie.
Look, I haven't watched it, all right?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
The other big part of this series, which only develops more in the second series, is the relationship between Poison Ivy and Harley. That's something that they've explored more in the comics, that they end up in a relationship together. And initially, it just looks like they're going to be friends, but I think it does a really good idea of naturally like progressing that relationship throughout the series. You know, and I'm sure that people are like, it's a forced agenda, etc., and whatever, but it didn't feel like that to me at all. For one, there is history for it in the comics, and
That's
I
true.
think it's a really great
But they would say that's also a force agenda.
Sure, yeah.
There's nothing you...
But there
there's
are
no
people
element-
of different sexualities, is my point.
Well, that sounds like a forced agenda to me.
It seems like politically correct culture is killing the comedy.
Yeah, but I don't know, I think what I liked about that relationship was it started as like a friendship from a genuine place.
Yeah, right.
And they established that, and I'm like, oh, okay, so they're going in a different direction. They're not going to do the same thing that they've been doing in a lot of versions of the comics. But then when it kind of evolved into that, I thought that was really fun. And, you know, and then, you know, they spent some time together on Themyscira in one particular episode, and the Themyscira has been changed to this bizarre, like, resort, like, hotel spa situation, which was really fun.
But my favourite moment in the series is probably the crew show up at Mr. Freeze's hideout, and he emerges from the shadows, and Clayface screams out, "Lady Gaga!" That's who he thinks it is.
That's a great Mr. Freeze episode.
Yeah.
Introduced Nora as like a proper character as well.
That's true, yeah.
Which is really fun. Yeah. It does end on a bit of a cliffhanger because there's like a the end question mark.
Yeah.
But it seems like we are getting a season 3 though, so this is going to be something I'm going to try and watch weekly next time it rolls around. Because this was a really genuinely pleasant surprise, and to me one of the best things that DC have done in recent memory, like across everything.
Everything, yeah, you're right.
Like so a lot of their movies I really like, and some of them not so much, and the same with the animated stuff, but this is definitely well up there.
Hell yeah.
So there you go. Anyways, if you haven't seen it, you should totally watch it. You should give it a chance. How many episodes should they give it a chance?
All the episodes.
What if
If
they...
you're not in it, but I mean, you know, I feel like the standard rule is if you're not feeling it by like episode 4,
Yeah.
probably give up. But she's, you know, by episode 4, she's gotten the bloody crew together.
Yep.
Dr. Psycho has shamed himself by calling Wonder Woman the C-bomb on
Yes.
television.
That's right, yeah. The universe is it's set in stone at that point. It's set in motion, would probably be a better way to put it. Yeah. And if you have seen it, you should watch it again then, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
You're gonna watch it again?
Yeah.
Then there you go.
Wow.
Be like Mason, watch it again. I'm not gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch other things.
Interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't wait for the next season. It was really great to be able to go, oh, there's 26 episodes of this. Awesome. So yeah, there you go. That's this show. Watch it if you haven't.
Oh, also there's the Penguin Bar Mitzvah episode.
Yes,
in the
that's
first
right, yeah.
3 as well. So
Yeah. There you go. All right. Hey, thanks for watching that. Again, we've got a podcast called The Weekly Planet. It comes out every Monday morning. We do some news of the week, don't we, Mason?
absolutely we do.
We do a topic, do some letters,
Yep.
talk about some stuff that we've watched, read, or listened to. If you're in a pandemic, which you are, might be a great opportunity.
Make a plan, Demic.
Yes.
To listen to the Weekly Planet podcast.
Agreed. And also bigsandwich.co, where we have another bonus podcast, an ad-free feed, movie commentaries, a bunch of other stuff. All right, goodbye,
Bye, everyone.
and bless you all.
Yes.
Yes.
God bless us, everyone.
Yes. We just want everybody to know at the top of this episode of Caravan of Garbage that you are all responsible for this series of films we are looking at.
Oh, people voted for this, right? They demanded it.
Demanded it.
Wow.
We're going to start with the first 3. We're going to see how we go.
Yep.
Of course, beginning with Transformers 2007, and if people could leave a like, that would be fantastic. But before we get into the movie itself, I just want to get a little bit of background on your love for the Transformers franchise, Mason. Mine is undisputed. I'm the biggest fan in the world.
my goodness.
I don't have to prove my credentials.
Wow. Growing up, I loved Transformers, and I know it was just, the cartoon was just a...
It was a cartoon?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it was a 30-minute ad. Maybe that's what you're thinking of for Transformers toys. But I love the Transformers toys. Some were kind of cheap and tacky, but some were, like, design-wise, just incredible. And I got as many as I could, but the one that I probably loved the most, and I still have a few laying around my house, is Optimus Prime. You know, because he's obviously, you know, strong and brave, but he's also selfless, and he's caring, and is compassionate.
Sometimes
and
he's
most
dead.
importantly of all, he's a bright red mid-1970s cab over engine White's Freightliner. Obviously, because the only true mark of a real hero is you gotta have a signature look.
So true.
And and, you know, for years as I was growing up, I remember, you know, people would be like, there's a live action Transformers in the works. So exciting, right? Oh my god, I'm gonna get to see Optimus Prime on the big screen. And then I remember
He's gonna wave to me, Nick Mason.
when I went into the cinemas, and I remember he first rolls up into that screen, and I remember the entire audience stood up as one, and they went, oh my god, a Peterbilt 379? Are you kidding me? Actually, that's not true. That didn't actually happen. But at the same time, I can tell you within my heart and soul that if Optimus Prime in the movies looked like Optimus Prime in the cartoons, I would forgive all the nonsense. I would watch the 15 hours of Transformers movies, whatever it is, and I would...
I mean, there are nods to it in other films and
look, and
whatever,
I would forgive the majority main characters that are just screaming lunatics.
Yep.
I would forgive the fact that all the Decepticons look exactly the same.
Yeah.
I would forgive the fact that you can't tell what's happening in any of the action sequences because everything is happening all the time.
I would argue a lot of those issues are lessened in this first movie.
Oh yeah, for
this
sure.
This is very watchable.
It's pretty watchable.
Yeah.
But again, if I would forgive all those if Optimus Prime looked like he did in the cartoon. But he doesn't. He looks like a Monster Energy drink. That's what he looks like.
Yes. What about if they made Megatron change into a little handgun?
Oh, speaking of that as well, I don't know if you remember, there was a teaser trailer for this movie. It's a Mars rover, and it's surveying the landscape with its camera, and then you see it's knocked over, and then the silhouette is very obviously Generation 1 Megatron,
Yeah, right.
like the one that does turn into a gun. But in this, what is he? He's a weird rusty skeleton.
Well, they did change his look a little bit due to some fan outcry. They changed the face, but I don't think it's any closer to the look. You can't deny like how great the special effects are in this movie.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I mean,
from a technical perspective.
Yeah, I do want to get into the design elements of this film that I don't love as much. But yeah, it is an absolute technical marvel, which hadn't really been seen at the time. And one of the first things I noticed about rewatching this for the first time in years, because these movies are exhausting and I try to stay away from them, is that the sound design is amazing. So, like the clinking and the clanking and the way that they work in the original sounds from the 80s TV show, you know, and all those.
But there's also so much of it.
But again, I
There's
think that's
never a quiet moment
But I
in this
think
movie.
that's something that kind of isn't so bad in this one. But you know that idea when at the start when that helicopter rolls in and they're like, what kind of helicopter
That's a great
is this?
action sequence.
It's fantastic, and when it transforms and you get that original sound and it just starts blowing people down. It's so good.
Yeah, if only the rest of the movie were like that. It's not.
And I also like some of the little changes that they made, like they've got a little holographic pilot or driver in the vehicles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's something that's probably happened in various incarnations.
Sometimes it's a hologram, sometimes it's like a pop-up, like
Yeah,
a crash
that's right.
dummy man that comes out of the seat.
Like from Men in Black 3, that movie I don't think you've seen.
No.
Might have been 2. I guess we can talk human characters because that is the majority of this film.
Yep.
So Shia LaBeouf is a teenage boy.
Yep.
It's as golden as the day is long. He just wants a car and a girlfriend.
Why have you opened by talking about the sidekick and not the main character, Megan Fox's Michaela Baines?
It is kind of baffling that she's not the main character.
She's like capable and skilled,
Yep.
and she's got like a character arc and a backstory that is something, because she had a dad in prison and that's how she learned her skills.
She's fitter, I think.
She's definitely fitter.
She could outrun him.
She makes the choice at the end to be like, we're going back into the battle kind of thing. The movie should be called Michaela Baines and her sweaty, flailing sidekick.
Well, there's the thing about a lot of these Transformer movies, and Bumblebee is the exception also to a lot of
Oh yeah,
what
for
we talk
sure.
about,
Yeah.
including the Optimus Prime problem that you have. But there's 3 main characters in these movies. There's stoic military guy.
Yep.
There's stuttering, insufferable idiot, and that's a lot of people.
Yes.
And then there's chicks. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
kind of the breakdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like in a lot of situations, maybe even Michael Bay wanted, chicks to be the main character,
Sure.
but he felt like, well, it's a movie about cars and it's about guns and shooting or whatever. So
And boys loves Transformers.
and people won't be able to accept that. So I'll just shunt her off to the side.
Yeah.
And then I'll just make some idiot the main character.
And eventually, like, she does leave the series, which we will talk about in
my
a later
goodness.
movies, the story behind that. But on the whole, I still find this one, there's a bit too much going on. It's too long, I feel.
Oh yeah.
For the things going on.
And yet, aside from Bumblebee, it's the shortest of the Transformers movies.
Baffling.
Isn't it though,
Yeah.
right?
Because you've got the Scorpion chases Tad Hamilton and his friends through the desert, which, by the way, I think would make a great movie by itself. Being stalked by Decepticon through the desert, like Pitch Black-esque.
Like Predator style.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
You've got kind of Shia LaBeouf dicking around looking for glasses and getting wrapped up in this plot.
And then, being pursued by John Turturro.
Yeah, that's right. And then you've got kind of boring government hacking satellite crap, where you're just looking at feeds of signals and shots of planes taking off and flying through the air and mainframes and all this kind of shit. Just like sweeping shots of the military. Take that out, please.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Of those three, that one should go. But here's the thing, though. It can't go because Michael Bay gets all this military equipment for free if he does some military promotion. So.
Well, that's right, exactly.
But you can't get rid of the cars because you get free. Apparently, they got 200 free cars.
Yeah,
in this movie from General Motors.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And they trashed a lot of them. Anything that's not considered an armory drill, which they use for this movie, he pays for all the ammunition and the explosions and all the fuel and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. So if you're thinking your US tax dollars are going to waste, I mean they are, but just not for this.
Sure. Bumblebee, obviously in the cartoons he was always a Volkswagen. In this he's a Camaro.
I saw an interview with Michael Bay where he's like, he will never be a bug. It'll look like Herbie the Love Bug. I'll shoot myself before I make him a bug.
I was just going to say Herbie, like, who remembers Herbie?
Nobody. Well, when was Herbie fully loaded?
Maybe it was the previous year, I don't know, but that's not the reason. It's the reason is General Motors gave you all the free cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the reason that was given for Optimus Prime not looking like he did in the cartoons is because apparently they wanted to make Optimus Prime the largest and most imposing Autobot.
Yes.
And the
10,108 moving parts.
Oh my goodness, that's too many. And the reason that he couldn't transform into the cartoon classic model is because that would mean the robot version of him was too small, so they needed a bigger truck.
Sure.
And he was apparently on record as saying, we're not going to do anything dumb like size changing in this movie. Which makes a lot of sense, except when you consider that the whole plot device of this movie is like a cube the size of a house that shrinks down to the size that a flailing man...
Of an American football.
Exactly.
So you can get a touchdown for America.
And even then, maybe if you like, well, the plot device can shrink, but nothing else can shrink. Put his legs in the trailer then.
Yeah, that's right.
Again, which you didn't give him. I will never give up on this.
You could have made him 100 feet tall with that trailer.
Right?
Well, it's funny you should mention that because they wanted to make him bigger, and this is the difference. If they did the original design, he would have been 20 feet tall. With the changed design, he was 22 feet tall.
Worth it.
So you really feel it, don't you?
Worth it to turn him into a Guy Fieri truck, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
You're 100%
it, yeah.
right.
Who, by the way, he does a lot of great charity work.
Seems like a
Gets
very
a lot
nice
of
man.
flack. Hopefully he's not cancelled the week that this goes out. These designs, and again, this is a problem later on because they're much harder to distinguish. With their spindly crab faces, and they're just, I'm talking about Decepticons specifically, they're just grey monsters just kind of jaggedly running about.
And it's difficult to determine in any given action sequence which ones have been destroyed, which ones are still left, where they are on the battlefield, because they all look the same, and they can all turn into anything.
Yeah.
Which is a difference from the cartoon where every Transformer was assigned a specific vehicle mode and they couldn't change out of that vehicle mode.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, if a Decepticon wants to be a tank and then become a police car and then become a helicopter, they can just do it. So oftentimes you're like, did that guy die or is he
different guy?
It's a different guy.
It's also confusing with the merch as well, and also the names of the characters in this, because they use some of the Constructicons, but then Devastator turns up in the next movie, and those get destroyed in this. Also, apparently that fighter jet, which is taking out the fighter jets above the city, that's a pretty amazing sequence. It might not be Starscream, it might be just somebody else. That's also behind the scenes stuff.
I have a note here. It's pretty simple, so you'll be able to keep up.
Okay.
Soundwave was going to appear in the film, disguised as an MH-53 Pavlo helicopter. Later, the cop was renamed Blackout, and then Soundwave was going to be a Celine Mustang automobile. However, the Hasbro company requested that a music player, Soundwave's original alternate mode from the Transformers cartoon, be in the film, so the Celine was renamed Barricade, and the music player robot appeared as
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, I don't know if capitalism is the problem, but maybe it's how people engage with capitalism. Maybe it's what people choose to focus on. If you're just about acquiring wealth and money, Some people are, yeah, they're going to be very deeply unhappy, and it's going to be this weird game of acquiring influence and power till you just have this insurmountable mound of money that you live on top of, right? I don't think that's a good way for them either. I think if we're going to look at this country fairly, we have to think of all the poor neighborhoods, and imagine being born in those poor neighborhoods. And imagine being born in a place where there's no resources, there's no help. You live in the fucking mountains of West Virginia, those coal mining communities, or it's all just mobile homes and pills, and it's chaos, and just extreme poverty. What do you do if you're stuck in there? What if you're born into that clan? That's the group you're born into. You're fucked, man. You're fucked. We have to take our resources and concentrate on parts of America the same way we concentrate on many other problem spots in the world, and look at them as like, hey man, there's a spot where people are fucked. We should unfuck them. We should figure out a way to go into every single horrible community in this country, on this planet. Ones that are just as bad as some that you see in third world countries. They exist right here in America. Fix that. Don't ignore that. That's crazy. If they're in Detroit, if they're in wherever the fuck they are, whatever the horrible community is. Why isn't there a concerted national effort to eliminate that? That's a major source of crime. It's a major source of problem. People feel like they got fucked over in life, so they want to get at you and take from you because you got that easy road. But hey man, you're born in the fucking suburbs. Hey man, your mom and dad are still together. You know, hey man, your dad has a job and your mom's at home baking and shit. You live like a motherfucking Norman Rockwell movie. Fuck you, man. My mom's on crack. My mom's a prostitute. My life is hell. My dad beats me. I've been sexually molested since I was a little kid. This is the reality that people exist in. They don't feel like anybody's coming to help them. We need to concentrate on that. If the government really cares about us, if they're really involved in social engineering and making America better again, make those places better. Those are the places you need to concentrate on, not tax breaks for fucking super rich corporations that get you in place. They make enough money, man. That's not the problem. The money, where the money goes, what's it being allocated towards? The biggest problem in our country is these impossible to escape communities.
Yes.
That so many people just get sucked into this trap, and for every person that gets out and becomes a basketball player or a successful business person, and they have this story about the poverty that they grew up in, they are so rare.
Yes.
And then it's not to be applauded that they got through that. It is, but it's more to be, we should understand, like, hey, we've got a real fucking problem that we're churning out all these people that live with they start out in life with a massive deficit, start out in life emotionally fucked, physically abused. They start out with everybody around them's a loser. Everybody's going to jail. Everybody's constantly doing pills or this or that. It's all negative. And to ask them to develop their own positive mindset uniquely in a vacuum is preposterous.
Yes.
So all these pull them up by your bootstraps, all those assholes, hey, you gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps, like, they don't even have boots, man. You don't understand. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. You've never seen it. You've never been involved in that kind of poverty. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. And if we care about people, that's what we should fucking care about.
Yes, I couldn't agree more.
The number one problem, and it's everywhere in the world, all the crime and poverty. Imagine if everyone, the lowest you could live is like a middle-class existence.
Yes.
Boy, everybody would all be a lot more fucking relaxed. Immediately. If you always had meals, you always had food, you always had a roof over your head. Everyone lives middle class. Holy shit. I mean, obviously that's way past the expectations that we have right now for the world, because like $34,000 a year globally puts you in the world 1%. You know, I mean, that's if you make $34,000 a year, which is hard to live on, man.
Yes.
That you're in the 1% of the world.
But that standard that you've so very eloquently described is, I think, achievable, and that ought be the aim. And when you give just one example of how the bias of legislation is continually to support the powerful while making making nominal gestures to poverty. Oh,
good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Nominal gestures. I like how you put that.
Yeah, and so if there is a point to nation, if there is a point to a flag and our belief and this idea that there is an America and there is a Britain and we're all together and we're all one and we've got a common destiny and a common past, then if we're ignoring and neglecting those communities, then I say that is what defines us. You know, and until there are
systems, codes, regulations that prioritize that, we will continue to live in something heading to, if not a dystopia, something moving in the direction of dystopia, where the priorities and dreams are sort of owned really by the kind of mad, evil insect robot images that we've seen discussed earlier.
People do get very concerned when someone reaches a point of excessive power and influence, like a Jeff Bezos type character. When you see some guy who's not, he doesn't have $1 million. Like, wow, guy's got $1 million. Like, he must be so relaxed. He's got so much money. No, he's got 150 billion, and he works every day maniacally, and he's constantly doing new projects and new things and buying out Whole Foods, and that's like pinnacle capitalism is one of the things that scares people the most, when someone just acquires this insane position of power and wealth. Yes. Like a Bill Gates type character, yes, who is very altruistic, very, very generous. Bill Gates he's like one of the better examples of someone who gains a lot of money and then does a lot to help people, especially in his retirement. All they do is focus on charitable organizations. And,
yeah, which is brilliant, but and you know, marvelous, and you know, I'm not criticizing the great achievements of brilliant people, but really for me that demonstrates the limitations come from the type of systems we live in. Yeah. That you can't through charity affect every impoverished community in America. You know, like the systems that we have are, oh well, if you're poor like that, you know, the bootstrap model, well this guy did it, look at this great guy who overcame the odds. You know, until, like, I feel like in a sense charity has become a kind of valve that allows you know, people like you and I who aren't poor to feel like, well, I do a bit, you know, I'm sort of involved, I can wash my hands of it. Yeah. When, you know, like what these, unless we, there is no America, there is no England unless we have integral relationships with one another, where we support one another.
We're all on a team. Right. If we really are on a team and we see someone who's completely downtrodden who's on our team and we ignore them, well, that's not much of a fucking team, is it?
No.
I mean, that's what I feel like when I come to red lights and I see homeless people. I feel terrible. I feel like, you know, I mean, there's part of you is like, don't give them any money because you know they're going to just buy drugs. Yeah. You know, let them figure it out. But then they're not going to figure it out. They have mental health issues, and they're stuck out here, and they're supposedly on the team. They probably were born in America. They probably have national citizenship here. You know, this is our team, and no one gives a fuck that they're camped out under the bridge. It's like the diffusion of responsibility that comes with these massive numbers. 20 million in LA, 300 and plus pills, it's chaos, but just extreme poverty. What do you do if you're stuck in there? What if you're born into that clan? That's the group you're born into. You're fucked, man. You're fucked. We have to take our resources and concentrate on parts of America the same way we concentrate on many other problem spots in the world, and look at them as like, hey man, there's a spot where people are fucked. We should unfuck them. We should figure out a way to go into every single horrible community in this country, on this planet. Ones that are just as bad as some that you see in third world countries. They exist right here in America. Fix that. Don't ignore that. That's crazy. If they're in Detroit, if they're in wherever the fuck they are, whatever the horrible community is, why isn't there a concerted national effort to eliminate that? That's a major source of crime. It's a major source of problem. People feel like they got fucked over in life, so they want to get at you and take from you because you got that easy road. But hey man, you're born in the fucking suburbs. Hey man, your mom and dad are still together. You know, hey man, your dad has a job and your mom's at home baking and shit. You live like a motherfucking Norman Rockwell movie. Fuck you, man. My mom's on crack. My mom's a prostitute. My life is hell. My dad beats me. I've been sexually molested since I was a little kid. This is the reality that people exist in. They don't feel like anybody's coming to help them. We need to concentrate on that. If the government really cares about us, if they're really involved in social engineering and making America better again, make those places better. Those are the places you need to concentrate on, not tax breaks for fucking super rich corporations that get you in place. They make enough money, man. That's not the problem. The money, where the money goes, what's it being allocated towards? The biggest problem in our country is these impossible to escape communities. Yes. That so many people just get sucked into this trap, and for every person that gets out and becomes a basketball player or a successful business person, and they have this story about the poverty that they grew up in, they are so rare. Yes. And then it's not to be applauded. that they got through that. It is, but it's more to be, we should understand, like, hey, we got a real fucking problem that we're churning out all these people that live with they start out in life with a massive deficit, start out in life emotionally fucked, physically abused. They start out with everybody around them's a loser. Everybody's going to jail. Everybody is constantly doing pills or this or that. It's all negative. And to ask them to develop their own positive mindset uniquely in a vacuum is preposterous.
Yes.
So all these pull them up by your bootstraps, all those assholes, hey, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like, they don't even have boots, man. You don't understand. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. You've never seen it. You've never been involved in that kind of poverty. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. And if we care about people, that's what we should fucking care about.
Yes, I couldn't agree more.
The number
really
one problem, and it's everywhere in the world, all the crime and poverty. Imagine if everyone, the lowest you could live is like a middle class existence.
Yes.
Boy, everybody would all be a lot more fucking relaxed immediately. If you always had meals, you always had food, you always had a roof over your head. Everyone lives middle class. Holy shit. I mean, obviously that's way past the expectations that we have right now for the world, because like $34,000 a year globally puts you in the world 1%. You know, I mean, that's if you make $34,000 a year, which is hard to live on, man.
Yes.
You're in the 1% of the world.
But that standard that you've so very eloquently described is, I think, achievable, and that ought be the aim. And when you give just one example of how the bias of legislation is continually to support the powerful while making just making nominal gestures to poverty. Oh,
good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Nominal gestures. I like the way you put that.
Yeah, and like so, if there is a point to nation, if there is a point to a flag and our belief and this idea that there is an America and there is a Britain and we're all together and we're all one and we've got a common destiny and a common past, then if we're ignoring and neglecting those communities, then I say that is what defines us. You know, and until there are systems, codes, regulations that prioritize that, we will continue to live in something heading to, if not a dystopia, something moving in the direction of dystopia, where the priorities and dreams are sort of owned really by the kind of mad, evil insect robot images that we've seen discussed earlier.
People do get very concerned when someone reaches a point of excessive power and influence, like a Jeff Bezos type character. When you see some guy who's not, he doesn't have $1 million. Like, you know, wow, guy's got $1 million. Like, he must be so relaxed. He's got so much money. No, he's got 150 billion, and he works every day maniacally, and he's constantly doing new projects and new things and buying out Whole Foods, and that's like pinnacle capitalism. Is one of the things that scares people the most, when someone just acquires this insane position of power and wealth. Yes. Like a Bill Gates type character, who is very altruistic, very, very generous. Bill Gates he's one of the better examples of someone who gains a lot of money and then does a lot to help people, especially in his retirement. All they do is focus on charitable organizations.
Yeah, which is brilliant, but and you know, marvelous. And you know, I'm not criticizing the great achievements of brilliant people, but really for me that demonstrates the limitations come from the type of systems we live in. That you can't, through charity, affect every impoverished community in America. You know, like the systems that we have are, oh well, if you're poor like that, you know, the bootstrap model, well, this guy did it, look at this great guy who overcame the odds. You know, until, like, I feel like, in a sense, charity has become a kind of valve that allows